In this PowerPoint, we're going to look at unit conversions. So when converting units, they cancel kind of like numbers cancel. So let's take a simple conversion from centimeters to meters. We've got 3,200 centimeters. We're going to convert to meters. Now, hopefully you know that centimeters, there's 100 centimeters in every meter. So 3,200 centimeters should be equal to 32 meters. All right, so we know this example, but I want to go through the process so that you can see how it works in every conversion. So we have 3,200 centimeters, and what we're going to do is we're going to take that conversion and we're going to multiply by 1. Now, if you remember, multiplying by 1 when it's a ratio means the numerator and the denominator are equal. Now notice this is 1 meter, this is 100 centimeters. Now if you look at just the number, it's not equal to 1, but we're not looking at just the number, we're looking at the entire measurement. It's 1 meter to 100 centimeters. Now the ratio needs to have the numerator and denominator equal to each other. But how do we know which one goes in the numerator, which one goes in the denominator? So what we're going to do is we're going to try to cancel the units that we already have. We're going to cancel the centimeters. So in order to cancel the centimeters, we have to put centimeters in the denominator because we already have centimeters in the numerator. So centimeters are going to go in the denominator. That's why we have 100 centimeters there. And then we got meters in the numerator. All right, so go ahead and cancel the centimeters, but we go ahead and multiply through by the numbers. So 3,200 times 100, and then anything in the denominator we divide. So 3,200 times 1 divided by 100, that gives me 32 meters for my, my conversion measurement. All right, so notice that the first thing we do is we divide by the units that we want to get rid of and then multiply by our new units. Now, that is the case if we have the units in the numerator. If we have it in the denominator, we're actually going to put the units we want to get rid of into the numerator so we can cancel it. We'll get to an example like that later. And then also notice that the measurement you divide and the measurement you multiply by have to be equal to each other. So even though the numbers aren't equal, the measurements are equal. So 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So in this example, we have 0.7 years. We want to convert that to seconds. So how many seconds are in a year? So the first thing we do is we start with our unit, which is 0.7 years, and we're going to convert to seconds, but I don't know how many seconds are in 1 year, so I got to go to something in between. I know that 365 days equals 1 year. We got years in the numerator, years in the denominator. We put days in the numerator. All right, so that doesn't get me to seconds yet, so I need to convert days to something else. So days are 24 hours in 1 day, so that'll cancel my days. And I have the numerator equal to the denominator on this one, so that cancels days, and I'm left with hours, but I still need to convert to seconds. So I convert from hours to minutes, and then I convert from minutes to seconds. All right, so one of the big mistakes I see, especially when converting time, is that we're used to seeing 1 hour and 60 minutes, but we're also used to seeing 60 seconds. So sometimes, like in this ratio right here, I get people who put 60 minutes equals 1 second. So when you do these ratios, make sure that you have the numerator and denominator measurements equal to each other. So that cancels the minute. We go ahead and multiply through by the numerator, divide through by the denominator. Now with all the ones being divided, you technically don't have to do that. You'd still get the same answer. So when you multiply that through, you get 22,075,200 seconds. Convert that to scientific notation. It's going to be 2.2 times 10 to the 7th seconds. This next one, we're going to convert 22.4 miles to kilometers. Now, I don't know how many kilometers are in a mile, but I do know that 1 mile is 5,280 feet, and I know that 1 foot is 12 inches, and 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So we've got a lot of steps to do this conversion. So let's start with the miles. 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. That'll cancel the miles out of the numerator and the denominator. And then we got 12 inches equal 1 foot. That'll cancel the feet. And it leaves me with inches, but I got to convert to centimeters. So 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters, but I need to get to kilometers. So I need to go from centimeters to kilometers. And if you remember the metric conversion from centi to kilo, it has a difference in power of 5. So kilo is 10 to the third, centi is 10 to the negative second. So that's a difference in power of 5. So 10 to the 5th centimeters, because centimeter is the smaller unit, it's got to get the bigger number. 10 to the 5th centimeters equals 1 kilometer. All right, so that'll cancel the centimeters. Then we take everything in the numerator, multiply it, divide by everything in the denominator, and that gives us a total of 36.0 kilometers. So remember, we divide by the unit we want to get rid of, then we multiply by the unit we want to convert to. If we have a unit in the denominator we want to get rid of, we're going to multiply by that unit and divide by the new unit that we convert to. Make sure the ratio, the numerator and denominator are equal to each other. This next example, we have 4,820 milliliters that we're going to convert to meters cubed. Now, these are both units of volume, but it's a little bit different because milliliters is just like a container that has a certain volume, but centimeters cubed or meters cubed, it actually has a length, a width, and a height. So we'll get to that in just a second. So we're going to convert from milliliters to centimeters cubed. Milliliters to centimeters cubed. So 1 milliliter equals 1 centimeter cubed. If you've ever seen anything in maybe in a medical show where you hear 1 cc, cc stands for centimeters cubed. It refers to the number of milliliters that you have. So 1 cc, that's 1 centimeters times centimeters times centimeters. Since we're dealing with a three-dimensional object with volume, then each of these centimeters need to be converted to meters. So it's not that 100 meters or 100 centimeters cubed equal 1 meter cubed. It's going to be 100 cubed centimeters cubed equals 1 meter cubed. All right, so that's centimeters, so that converts 1 centimeters to meter, and then the next centimeter got to convert to meter, and then the next centimeter got to convert to meter. And you can see that those are going to cancel, multiply everything on the top, divide by everything on the bottom, and I get a total of 0.0042 or 482 meters cubed, which converts to 4.82 times 10 to the negative third meters cubed. This next example, you see we actually have units in the numerator and the denominator. We want to go from centimeters per second to kilometers per hour. So we got to convert both of these measurements. So let's start with the centimeters. 1 centimeter, or I'm sorry, 10 to the 5th centimeters, so 100,000 centimeters equals 1 kilometer. Remember the difference in power between kilometers and centimeters is 5. So 10 to the 5th centimeters equals 1 kilometer. That gets my numerator to where I want, but now I need to get the denominator to hours. To go from seconds to minutes, at 60 seconds equals 1 minute. Notice that since seconds is in the denominator, I now put seconds in the numerator. And I put my new unit of minutes in the denominator, and the numerator and denominator are equal to each other. So that'll cancel the seconds, but now I need to convert minutes to hours. So 60 minutes equal 1 hour. All right, so everything cancels as far as the units that I don't want, but you notice I'm left with kilometers in the numerator and hours in the denominator. So now I can go ahead and multiply everything on the top, divide by everything on the bottom, and that gives me my measurement in kilometers per hour to be 650 kilometers per hour.